appreciate how big a deal being in a play is. I mean, I've worked backstage a lot. My son has been really fortunate to get some terrific parts, but it really came home to me what a big deal it is to be in these shows. When we were doing Les Mis, and I was working backstage, and we got word that one of the kids in the choir had a small role, and he'd just been on stage. It was during the matinee, and he apparently had come off stage and got into the bathroom and thrown up for about 20 minutes. And so my first thought, as was the other adults there, was we got to get this kid out of here because we've got many more shows to do, and he's got to go home. And so I volunteered to take him home, and he came out and he was just really pale and kind of green. And I said, "Oh, I'll take you home," and got him in the car, and I'm thinking, don't throw up in my car. And I'm not really thinking too seriously about him, but he started talking about how it was a little bit he was talking, and I said, well, how did it go today? And he said, well, my family came. They were able to come today and watch me. And I said, oh, that's great. And he just sat there, he's in a glass, looking out the window, and we're driving along, and I said, well, I'm really, really sorry that this had to happen, and that you're not going to be there for the rest of the show. And he said, oh no, he said, this is the best day of my life. This is the best day of my life, because my family saw me up there, and it was great. And I thought, that's what this is all about, Dan. You've given hundreds of kids that opportunity. Thank you for that.
Well, Dan, I guess it's my turn. I taught with Dan for 18 years here, and I did, 16 musicals with you, maybe, something like that. I was the pit orchestra conductor. It's been a long time. Dan's one of my best friends. And, when I knew it was a roast, it kind of made me nervous, because it's kind of like roasting God himself. But anyway, I thought, well, I'll get up here and try. But I just want everyone to know that, I think Dan's a monster musician. I think he's one of the greatest teachers I've ever known in my life. There's no doubt about it. I think he's a divinely inspired teacher. He's one of the few that you'll ever find like that. And I remember, kids here at Wenatchee High School, they'd always talk about going away, and they wanted to get away from here, and this was, there wasn't anything here, and they wanted to go off to the big cities, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, you just have no idea what you've got here. You are singing in the best high school choir in the world. So anyway, Dan, thanks for being my friend, and I wish you a good retirement.
Am I there? Hi. My name is Tim O'Donnell. I graduated in 1994 from Wenatchee High School, and I am a choir educator. I know that I'm not the only music educator that has come through this program. I know there's a few of you out there right now. I had the great opportunity to work with Dan for those 4 years, and I also had the opportunity to come here and student teach. During that time when I was student teaching, he said something to me that has stuck with me since then. He said, teaching is not what you do, it's who you are. And I really think that is a testament to him. And I think that you can see that all of you here are so affected by him because it's not just his job. It's who he is. It's who he is. It's everything. This job saturates him, and it's everything he is to educate the students. I think a couple things that stand out to me about him. I don't know if you know that I teach in Ephrata, and all the teachers in this area, we talk about Dan. We are all the meetings and different things. What stands out to all of us is that he's teaching us all the time. Like, Dan doesn't have secrets about education. There's not like, there are a lot of educators, especially music educators, that have these little secrets they don't want to give out because that makes their program special. But he's just like, take it on. And it's really awesome. It's been really great for me to be able to be in this region and still continue to learn from him. It's been such an awesome experience. Another thing that stands out to me too about him is a couple of years, 2003 or something, I went over to American Choral Directors Association, had a big thing in New York, and I went to St. Patrick's Cathedral. I was downtown and I was watching some performance, and I look over to my left and Dan Jackson's standing right next to me. It just kind of blew my mind, and we got to go out to lunch and stuff, but it occurred to me then, and I've seen it since then, he continues to grow. I don't know if you knew this, there wasn't ever like a year where Dan said, okay, I made it, I'm as good as I'm gonna get, and he stopped. He continues to go to conferences, he continues to look for new music all the time. Up to this year. Every year there's looking for the new thing, always going, and always striving to get better. And it's so awesome to see a teacher that's been teaching for so long still have that passion for learning. And it's truly inspired me, and I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. It has been requested to, somebody asked me to make sure that all of the teachers that are in this room that came through this program are supposed to come down here after this section is over to get a picture.
I'm Michelle Bird, and I just wanted to maybe share a little story. The first time I saw Mr. Jackson was when I auditioned for Music Man as an 8-year-old. He needed younger students for the musical, so my sister was in it, and so I thought I'd audition. She helped me. I was very, very shy, and my heart was pounding just about as loudly as it is right now. And I remember getting up there, and I looked down at my lines, and I saw the name Amaryllis, and I just like stopped, and I was like, how do I say that? And I pretended I lost my spot. And I kept rereading the lines, and every time he asked me to go back to it, I just kept pretending that I didn't know where I was. And so he had me sit down. And he still let me in. So I guess that's sort of what gave me confidence, even when I sort of failed in my audition. He just gives people that second chance, and that's the reason I guess I'm standing here right now, even with my heart beating as fast as it is. And just confidence to get up here. So thank you.